life. It is my life, so for me, it was always I had to have a challenge. I believe it also does fighting sport is something special.
Crafty axe-kicking techniques, jaw-dropping tornado strikes, low-spinning heel kicks, and all that supported by an unmatched fighting IQ that kept the fans on the edge of their seats. During the 1990s, an enigmatic warrior emerged in the realm of heavyweight kickboxing, standing at a mere 5 feet 11 inches and barely tipping the scales as a heavyweight at 216 pounds, who defied the odds and shattered the norms of his division. His name? Andy Hoog.
Fun. He's a legit black belt in Kyokushin.
Yeah.
Listen, nobody is a more critical judge of kicking technique than me.
Yeah.
He kicks perfect.
You wonder, what set him apart from the rest? Well, this Swiss karateka, utilizing his arsenal of kicking techniques rarely seen in high-level competition, has been terrorizing fellow kickboxers with stunning knockouts that can't be seen today. Join us as we delve into the captivating story of a fighter who redefined the art of heavyweights and left a legacy that still echoes through the annals of combat sports history. Back in 1979, when Andy Hoog was just a 15-year-old dynamo, he blew the minds of the karate world by taking down older, more seasoned opponents and walking away with the Swiss National Oyama Cup. Then, let's jump ahead to 1984, when the blue-eyed samurai decided to go big, literally. He moved into the heavyweight division and scored the Swiss national title. But it was in 1992 when things got super interesting. Hoog, already pretty famous in Japan for his unique fighting style, made the shift from amateur to professional. He kicked off this new phase with a win against Toshiyuki Yanagisawa, which set the stage for his big win at the 1992 Seido Kaikan Karate World Cup. Now, here's where the real show begins. 1993 is the year he stepped into the world of kickboxing, and that's when the highlight reels truly light up. The Swiss fighter wasted no time introducing kickboxing fans to his infamous axe kicks. After snatching the souls of his first two opponents, Andy was ready for the first real test of his career, Branko Cikatic, who took the 1993 K1 Grand Prix tournament by storm. The Croatian was unprepared for the various kicking techniques and arsenal that Hoog put on the table, and the judges had no headache deciding who was the better fighter on the scorecards. In the next bout, Hoog tasted a loss for the first time in kickboxing, but it didn't come without a sprinkle of controversy. Patrick Smith initiated a brawl early and briefly dropped the Swiss fighter. Andy was back to his feet and ready to stand and bang, and was dropped again after Smith rained a barrage of punches. The referee jumped in to give Hoog the count as he momentarily stood up, but the opponent landed another late shot, making the referee wave the fight off. Well, this did not sit well with most of the fans, considering the controversy and how that fight ended. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but try telling that to Andy. The two were set for a rematch in an event known as K1 Revenge, and Andy Hoog was determined to prove that the first encounter was a fluke. The blue-eyed samurai opened the hunting season with a low-spinning heel kick that can only be seen in video games like Tekken or Mortal Kombat. The American was ready to play Russian roulette, and before you know it, both fighters started throwing with axe kicks. But it was Hoog's middle kick, followed by a vicious knee, that sealed the deal, and the referee saved the opponent from applying for a liver transplant. If you thought this was the only time Hoog revenged a loss, you need to reconsider, as the blue-eyed samurai liked the taste of it and became the king of revenge in the years to come. Don't believe us? Let's dive into it. After cooking Duke Rufus's liver in Hannibal Lecter style and landing one of the most brutal knockouts in kickboxing history against Rob Van Esdonk, Andy Hoog was matched against Mike Bernardo next, a K1 legend who holds notable victories over elites like Mirko Krokop and Peter Aerts. The South African powerhouse was too big and powerful for Hoog this time, and after 2 competitive rounds, he ended the contest by dropping more bombs on Andy than the Germans did in Stalingrad. If they only knew that this would only be an overture to a heated rivalry in the years to come. Andy bounced back by mercilessly slaughtering the giant Peter Kramer next, and in September of the same year, he was set to fight Mike Bernardo again in an attempt to avenge his loss. The blue-eyed samurai fought well, but Bernardo once again showed why size and strength matter in combat sports, and this time, it was the right hook that sealed the deal. This was a tough break for Hug, as he lost a close majority decision fight against Ernesto Hoost only 2 months prior. While many believed that Mike Bernardo was Andy's kryptonite and Ernesto Hoost too good to manhandle, the Swiss fighter was eager to prove the world wrong and was determined to take the losses as a learning experience. In only 3 months, he showed the young Jérôme Le Banner why there are levels to this game by dominating the French slugger to a unanimous decision victory before taking part in the K1 Grand Prix 1996 tournament, where both Mike Bernardo and Ernesto Hoost participated as well. In the first round of the tournament, the Swiss fighter made Bart Vale kiss the canvas in the first round and made quick work of Dwayne van der Merwe in the quarterfinals by showcasing once again that his left hook is as deadly as a .44 Magnum shot. Advancing to the semifinals, Andy Hug was scheduled to face Ernesto Hoost again, arguably the greatest K1 fighter of all time. They already fought before, and the Dutch fighter edged Hug on the judges' scorecards, and the Swiss fighter was ready to settle the score. The fighters decided to go out there without a bulletproof vest and a helmet, exchanging strikes in heated exchanges where none of them were ready to compromise. This battle was so close that they had to go to a second extended round to declare the winner, and the outcome of this competitive clash was decided by the judges, who raised Hug's hands victorious. The Ernesto Hoost operation was completed by evening the score in their 2 encounters, and now Andy Hug was advancing to the final, aiming to win the most prestigious kickboxing championship in the world. Considering this was a one-night tournament, the Swiss fighter had only a few hours to rest, and winning the K1 championship was a high mountain to climb, and on top of that mountain was his bitter enemy, Mike Bernardo. The South African fighter dismantled Hug in their previous 2 encounters, and most fans believed that the script wouldn't be any different this time. Mike Bernardo was a colossal monster with scary knockout power. Trying to overpower him was the same as trying to wrestle a saltwater crocodile in the water. Andy Hug had to come up with a different tactic this time, or the outcome would have most probably been the same as before. The South African wasted no time on the appetizers and went straight to the main course, but Andy returned with fire. It was a contest between speed and technique versus raw power, and so far, Hug has weathered the storm and survived the first round successfully. In the second, Andy initiated a brawl, and Bernardo returned with a powerful punch that discouraged the Swiss fighter from continuing swinging. And then, the blue-eyed samurai came up with a brilliant plan. He chopped Mike's leg like wood, and out of nowhere, the giant was down in agony. As soon as the opponent beat the count, Hug went on the hunt. He steered the victim into an ambush and pulled the trigger, launching a left spinning heel kick to the leg that sealed the deal instantly. Andy Hug did the unthinkable. He beat the guy he lost to 2 times prior to this, and he avenged his loss in the best possible way by knocking him out and winning the K1 championship in the process. The world had a new kickboxing champion, and his name was Andy Hug. The 2 met again in 1997, and this time the Swiss fighter gave the judges no headache to determine who was the winner, setting the score to 2-2. The samurai spirit of persistence and determination helped Hug to climb to the top of the kickboxing food chain, and he was only getting started. The blue-eyed samurai bulldozed through the next 4 opponents, including a masterpiece right hook KO against Sadao Kyatsungrit, and a right cross missile against Stan Longinaitis that sent him straight to La La Land. However, on March 16, 1997, a new rivalry came to the surface when Andy Hug was scheduled to face Peter Aerts, one of the greatest K1 fighters of all time who's been snatching souls in the ring since 1987. The Dutch fighter ended the contest with a victorious right uppercut and left knee, reminding Andy Hug of how it feels to be on the losing side again. But by now, it was well known that the Swiss fighter wouldn't calm down until he settled the score with the opponent. Andy Hug took part in the upcoming K1 Grand Prix 1997 tournament and shut the lights off on Pierre Jeanette in the first, and needed only 15 seconds to make Masaaki Satake kiss the canvas. In the semifinals, his paths crossed with Peter Aerts again, and this time, the Swiss fighter served the revenge cold by winning the contest on the judges' scorecards. In the final, in a close battle where the fighters went toe-to-toe, delivering a fighting spectacle for the fans, the judges believed Ernesto Hoost was the better fighter that night, allowing him to claim the K1 championship. Andy Hoog comfortably dismantled the opposition in the next 5 bouts, including another huge victory over Peter Aerts, a brutal finish against Mike Labrie, chipping Mark Russell's leg, and a spinning back fist from hell against Masaaki Miyamoto. On December 12, 1998, Andy Hoog was back in the big league, and in the quarterfinals of the K1 Grand Prix 1998 tournament, he was matched against Ray Sefo, a scary knockout artist with dynamite in his hands. The Swiss fighter dropped the opposition with fundamental boxing, and once he smelled blood, he went for the finish, ending the bout shortly after. He then defeated Sam Greco on the judges' scorecards, and in the finals, he faced Peter Aerts again, who now had the last laugh by beating the rival via first-round KO. This was the 3rd consecutive K1 final that Andy Hoog had been in, and he won one of them. At the sunset of his career, Andy Hoog had a legendary battle versus the combat sports icon Mirko Cro Cop, and managed to beat the Croatian on the judges' scores. Unfortunately for the fight fans, Andy Hoog could not continue fighting, and it was not something related to injury. In early August of 2000, Andy Hoog experienced severe health issues, including high fever and nosebleeds. Despite consulting doctors who found no apparent illness, he traveled to Japan on August 14th for training and a planned event. On August 15th, a Swiss physician discovered a malignant tumor on his neck, and he was diagnosed with leukemia upon reaching a Tokyo hospital on August 19th. However, due to pre-existing heart and circulation problems, chemotherapy caused further complications, including brain hemorrhaging, pneumonia, and various bleeding. On August 21st, Hoog expressed his desire to stay in Japan if he didn't survive. Hoog's condition deteriorated on August 23rd, leading to a coma and life support. Despite efforts to revive him, he passed away on August 24th, 2 weeks before his 36th birthday. His death was widely reported on Japanese news channels. Andy Hoog's remarkable journey in the world of kickboxing is a testament to his indomitable spirit and unparalleled skill. He defied the odds, redefining the art of heavyweights with his unique kicking techniques and unmatched fighting IQ. Hoog's story is one of persistence, determination, and pursuit of greatness, as he avenged losses and climbed to the top of the kickboxing world, becoming a K1 legend and capturing the hearts of fans worldwide. Tragically, his career was cut short by a sudden and devastating illness, leukemia, which he battled with incredible courage and resilience. Andy Hoog's legacy lives on not only in the victories he achieved, but also in the fighting spirit he displayed throughout his life. His untimely passing left a void in the world of combat sports, but his impact and memory continue to resonate with fans and fighters alike, serving as an enduring inspiration to all. Thanks for tuning in to today's video featuring Andy Hoog. If you enjoyed watching and want more content like this, why not show some love with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button? Join us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. Remember, each subscription brings us one step closer to our goal. Let's do this together.